Welcome, Hudson Valley. This is Conor Walsh, host of In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's award-winning public affairs and issues program. This week on In Touch, we have Melaine Rottkamp from Dutchess Tourism Inc. It's hard to believe that summer is nearly over, but the fall is when the Hudson Valley truly shines. Melaine and I go into all the autumn attractions for you to explore in Dutchess County. We invite you to listen to a previously recorded conversation between Melaine and myself here on In Touch. Hello, Hudson Valley. You're listening to another episode of In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's award-winning public affairs and issues program. We got a great episode lined up for you guys today. By the way, I was just joking around with her as she was coming in. I just hit the gym before doing this because I know this is a marathon. I got to train before having her in. I got to be ready, tip-top shape. We have the Queen of Dutchess County with us today, President and CEO of Dutchess Tourism, and recently just named president of Hudson Valley Tourism. Yeah. We have Melaine Rottkamp. Melaine, how are you?
I'm great. You got to build up your stamina for these. Like, this is a marathon that we're running here with tourism. There's always something going on.
And I love it. It's so much fun. And also the fact that you're the only guest where it's like we stand when we do these interviews. But you know what? That's fun. I like the energy of it.
It's good for your breath control. It's good for your diet. You can't, be sitting crunch. We're too excited. We move too much, you and I.
We do. That's the thing. When I'm like sitting down with other guests, like I am trying so hard not to move and be, too distracting or anything. And I'll have weird poses and whatever. It's like, yeah, it's a thing. But it's all good. But you know what? Busy time in Dutchess County. A lot of things going on. A lot of things for you. As we said, you just got named the president of Hudson Valley Tourism.
Right.
That's amazing. We're just getting out of Fair Week, which is amazing. That is so cool. And then we have a lot of things coming up for September, end of summer and fall. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. But before we look towards the future, let's talk about the stuff that just happened. Congrats on being named the president of Hudson Valley Tourism. That's so cool. So can you tell us about Hudson Valley Tourism and what's that like compared to, you've been working with Dutchess County, but now you're working with all these counties.
Yeah. Well, so Hudson Valley Tourism are the 10 counties east and west of the Hudson River between New York City and Albany. And we work together as an I Love New York vacation region to promote the whole region. So I've always been a part of this group. And it's a really fantastic group of people. Every county is different. It's got its own flavor, its own style, its own, top attractions. And it's really fun to learn about everybody's things that they got going on. We're all neighbors here. And people, that Hudson Valley brand has continued to grow over the years. And so it's really exciting to be a bigger part of that. As we work, we meet every month. We talk through all the things that we want to do. We don't have a lot of money. People think we have a lot of money. We do not have a lot of money. But we do have those I Love New York matching funds dollars that each county has to give a portion to their regions for those cooperative efforts. So we do what we can to the best of our ability, and we share a lot of ideas and promotions. We're working on a lot of stuff for America 250 and Rev 250 because there's certainly a lot of that Revolutionary War colonial history in the Hudson Valley. And then beyond that, too, because we're not just talking about that particular time period, but also revolutionary things that have happened, revolutionary women, revolutionary events and things in our history. So we'll be showcasing all of those through 2026 and beyond.
No, that's really incredible. And I feel like when you have tourism that's working well for one county, it's going to really help all of them because we are so packed. And when you think of it, it's the Hudson Valley region. Right. So let's say you're coming to do something in Dutchess County, you just run over to Ulster real quick, or you got Columbia Green right above us, Putnam right below us, and vice versa. It's really not that crazy of a drive to go back and forth. And if you're here for not even just a week, a weekend. Yeah. You could be like, oh yeah, I'm staying in Dutchess County and I'm doing something here, but I'm doing this there. And you can do a lot.
Well,
with
and
it.
travelers, they don't care about borders. They don't know what county is what county.
Exactly.
They don't know. They just know I want to go to Olana, and I want to go to Claremont, and I want to go to Statsburg and Wilderstein. I'm going to do all those great estates up and down the river. They don't know that they've left one county or are going to another.
Yeah.
They don't care about that.
It's just how long's the drive? Can we fit it in?
Right, exactly. And that's
the
helping
great
people
thing.
understand their expectations. So by doing themed itineraries, so if you want to center one around art, that's great. And so we'll pull all those art features together, everything from Storm King in Orange County to Dia Beacon to the Wasaic Project out in Millerton to Opus 40 in Ulster to Art Omi in Columbia County to Magazzino in Putnam County. So there's a ton of great things there. So if that's your jam, here's what you're going to do and how you're going to get there.
And that's awesome. It's all the places you've mentioned. I've been to each and every one of them, and amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Actually, I should get back to a couple of them. But no, so good. And of course, as I mentioned before, we're just getting out of the Dutchess County Fair. How many days were you there at the fair? Were you there the entire time?
Almost. I was there out of the 6 days. I was there 4.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty, which is great because then you get to eat all the different things. You don't have to just fit in your fair food into one day because that's just not healthy.
That's dangerous. That's dangerous. Been there, done that. That's really bad. I remember one time in particular, I was there with some friends. We all got deep fried Oreos after that was the capstone. We did all this other fair food throughout the day, and we capped it off with the deep fried Oreos. Most of us couldn't finish it. One guy was like, "Oh, I'll take yours." No. We went on the zipper all together. Let's just say the workers yelled at him a lot afterwards. I won't get into what he did.
This one of the things that was amazing about the fair this year is I love taking new people to the fair.
Yeah.
So this year we were really thrilled to work with the Hudson Valley Renegades. If you've seen in the news, maybe you have, last year there was a viral photograph of people in Bhutan, the Kingdom of Bhutan, which is in Asia between India and China, playing baseball in front of these giant Buddhas.
Yeah.
And so Zach Bukowski, who's the GM of the Renegades, kind of reached out through LinkedIn, found out who the head of that league was. Turns out he's from Connecticut.
Nice.
And so he knew all about the Hudson Valley. And they thought they might send some hats over and get a cool photo for Instagram. And what happened was we ended up bringing a delegation of 6 baseball and 6 softball players here with their chaperones. And so we had the privilege of taking them to some Dutchess County highlights on Tuesday. We started at the Walkway of the Hudson. Our mountains, we love our mountains. Wow. They're not the Himalayas. No. But the kids had their cameras out. They were taking video and photos. We did the glass elevator ride up. They loved it. And we stopped at the CIA, the Fountains Run. It was beautiful. We did a loop through FDR's home and library, got a little history in there because it's world history.
Yeah.
And then a drive through Vanderbilt, and then up to the fair. We spent 2.5 hours at the fair. So it's a good thing I know that place as well as I do. I was able to curate that experience. We got milkshakes first because that's always the rule.
How were you able to get through the line, or did you use a little? Did you get
we
perks?
Were good. It was fast. They have a lot of people working, and we were there early too. Not many people want milkshakes for breakfast, but I do.
Oh, so you were there very early then.
It wasn't there quite there, but it was definitely early enough to not have a huge line.
Oh, okay.
And so,
I was going to say those lines are long.
Yeah, we were good. They were moving along. They had enough people working, so we got the milkshakes. We waited in line for the milkshakes while they watched the 4-H goat show.
Oh, fun.
And then we took them through the horticulture building where they voted for the People's Choice Award. They saw the antique machinery running. They bonded with, some of the girls bonded with the people working the looms and weaving in that historic building because they do that too. So they were asking lots of questions. We got them great food. They got to go on a ride. Nice. And then we had to scoot out. But they all, they were going to spend some time in New York City, and they kind of really wanted to come back and go to the fair longer. So
why not?
Who can blame them, right?
Absolutely.
So that was the start of my fair week, and it was awesome.
Wow. Well, the Dutchess County Fair, no shade against any other county fair around here, but it's one of the biggest around. I have not seen a county fair the same size as the Dutchess County Fair. And that says something. That's pretty impressive. You have to go to Western
New York, Erie County, out Buffalo way. Yeah. That's the oldest and the biggest, but we think ours is the best.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I remember I went to, well, obviously I've been going to Orange and Ulster for years, and I was familiar with those. but I went to the Saratoga one when I was in college. And, like, just think about it. Saratoga is, like, it's known for its tourism, the casinos, party life, and all that. So I was like, it must be big, right? I felt like it was just a small footprint compared to the Dutchess County Fair. And I'm like, wait, we saw everything already? So I just got to say, we're blessed.
We are.
We're blessed to have that then.
Andy and Parati, Vicky, everyone at the fairgrounds, they do such a tremendous job. Every year they outdo themselves. I don't know how they do it, but there's always something new, always something cool. Mark Adams and Sue, it's gorgeous. All the flowers, it's so beautifully maintained. It is so special. The only year I missed was the COVID year when it didn't run. I've been going there for 30 years now, and it's still my favorite week of the year.
Yeah, the COVID time, that was crazy, but happy that we're past that, happy that we can get all together. If I have to nitpick one thing about the fair, bring back the talent show. Miss the talent tent. Miss the talent tent. Miss Joe Daly being up there and hosting everything. Bring it back. It'd be so much fun. I don't need to be in it no more. I'm well past that. But I would just love to see it again.
Are you
that would
a
be
fair
great.
talent show winner?
Yeah.
I'm a fair talent show winner
for
too.
Baton.
Yes, from my hometown in Tompkins County, way back in the day.
Nice. So wait, did you do it get it as a team or solo? Or both?
It was a duet. One of my friends and I did a duet.
That's fun. That's cool. Nice. I could see you doing very well with that.
Yeah, because it's so unique.
Oh yeah, it's so good. Yeah. No, I won. How many ribbons? Maybe 2.
Nice.
I think only 2. But hey, that's 2 more than none.
That's
so
right. That's
we'll
a great
take it.
time. That's
we'll
so
take
fun.
it. And
Nice.
qualified for the state fair, which was awesome. So it was like, that's so cool. That was the other thing. It was like you could get people to the state fair.
Right.
That was too cool.
Yeah.
All right. No need to harp on that too much longer. That's just my own personal gripe.
Dates are out for next year. Plan ahead.
Exactly. But no, let's talk about what's going on this year and the wonderful things that are happening still to come. Again, you're listening to In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's award-winning public affairs and issues program. We're speaking to Melaine Rottkamp, President and CEO of Dutchess Tourism. You have a very busy week coming up. As soon as this episode airs, you have a lot going on, but a lot of cool things going on. So I guess we should go in chronological order.
Sure.
You were telling me Wednesday was the first really, really big
Wednesday's
day, right?
big. Tuesday night, I'm meeting with
Tuesday night something too?
East Fishkill.
That
they're
was
working on their
Tuesday.
strategic plan.
All right.
So helping them, giving them data on tourism and the economic impact, and as they're thinking about their future and they're planning what they want to do. So I'm going to put in my 2 cents worth for tourism. They have great farms there. They've got the part of the Empire State Trail with the Dutchess Rail Trail and the Maybrook line that go through. Great history there at the Hopewell Depot Museum and other wonderful attractions, things that are going on at I Park with Sloop Brewing. So we're going to talk about tourism with the East Fishkill elected officials and let them know where we're at there. They're such great supporters anyway. I'm thrilled to be able to have the opportunity to talk to them. And then Wednesday, I'll be in Saratoga with our county historian, Will Tatum, with our advertising agency, Fourth Idea, and we're going to be talking about our Commander and Cheers program. So that's Toasting with Tiny George.
Yep.
What that program is that day, it's the New York State 250 Celebration Summit. And they're bringing together historians and tourism people and other folks to really help us talk about some best practices with planning for this upcoming celebration in 2026 and everything leading up to it. Really one of the highlights and the keys that spurred on this Commander and Cheers program is we know that there's a lot of folks that maybe they're not as familiar with our history. They think that maybe historic sites are boring.
Nah.
Not me. I'm not one of those people, but there are people that maybe they went to a historic site, but they went in elementary school as a field trip and they've never been back.
Yeah.
And so really, if we can't get the public to come to our historic sites, we have to bring our history to them.
Yeah.
And so with the Commander and Cheers program, you'll find coasters in our taverns, tasting rooms, and restaurants throughout the county. And there's 6 different stories. And if you want to hear a story from a tiny hologram of our George Washington talking about our important Dutchess County history, you can go to one of those 6 locations. You have to go to every one of those 6 regions of the county if you want to hear all the stories.
Yeah.
And so that helps get people moving going around. It's good for our businesses, and it's great for our history, because if people start to learn that, then maybe they will be more likely to come visit some of those historic sites. So we're going to be talking best practices that day.
Amazing. Yeah. And of course, if you want to see more with the Commander in Cheers, check out one of our, it was the last time that we had Jane here. We talked about that more. Plus, we even had videos of the Commander in Cheers. Melaine was showing me the actual coasters. I still have a couple of the coasters at my desk. It's still cool. It's amazing. I love it. And so, no, definitely check that out. We'll link back to it in the description of this. So cool. And the nice thing about the historic sites, you can do so much with them. Obviously, you can tour and learn about them, but a lot of these historic sites are so well done, put together, well kept. You can take wonderful photos at them, whether, like, in my case, they were my prom photos. I did prom photos at a number of the estates around here. I know people do wedding photos at places like that too. You can have all these different things in regards to it, just checking it out, picnics or whatever, but then also enjoy the history and learn more while you're there too. But there's so much more than just simply is like, hey, it's there, do a tour. No, there's so much to enjoy with a lot of these places. They're parks. A lot of them are like full-on parks now, which is amazing.
Yeah, I got to meet with the Archivist of the United States.
Oh, my God.
She came here and was at the FDR Library. They're run by the National Archives.
Yeah.
And she is so on board with the kind of things that we're doing here in our community at that site, at the national parks and other sites. And what that is really enhancing that content. So, for instance, Locust Grove does Sunset Sensations. So one Thursday a month, they have a chef come in, do a tasting menu. They have the master gardeners talking about the gardens, using fresh products. You pair wine with it. How great is that?
So good.
And then you have places like Statsburg State Historic say they do different themed tours. So just because you've been there once doesn't mean you have the whole picture. They do a Downton Abbey themed tour because their story of the Mills family is similar to what happened in the show. You know, they do a Titanic themed tour because the Mills family had return tickets on the Titanic. They were supposed to sail from New York to Europe. Obviously, they didn't get to do that. So a lot of the sites do really wonderful tours. Mount Goulian right now is doing white glove tours where they let you hold and touch like the really amazing artifacts there.
I'd be too scared to do it. I would break something. It was like, I don't want to be liable for this.
So they're doing amazing work. If you haven't been to our historic sites in Dutchess County or throughout the whole Hudson Valley, you know, now is time to do it. Go do it again. They decorate for the holidays, so that's always a beautiful time. But, you know, don't miss out. The gardens are stunning. Go check them out.
Get it while the gardens are still in bloom and still all together. I remember I took my girlfriend to Vanderbilt for the first time in the winter, and so there wasn't anything there. So it was like, I have to bring you back. And I brought her to Vanderbilt. I brought her to Mills. Actually, we were just at Mills. Yeah. We took her on a tour, and she loved it. It was so good. And brought her down to the river, of course. And
isn't that great? So many people don't know you can do that.
The views are amazing, and to be able to see like that lighthouse from there and just check that. Amazing. So that's Tuesday and Wednesday for you. Thursday, I don't know how we've never talked about this before, but this is an amazing feature that Dutchess County has, accessible Dutchess. Right. And you guys, so explain what it is Thursday that you're doing with Accessible Dutchess.
Right. So the New York State Tourism Industry Association, NYSTIA, is holding their annual meeting on Thursday and Friday, and we are honored to win 3 Tourism Excellence Awards from NYSTIA this year. Thank you. And one of them is for our Accessible Dutchess program. So if you're familiar with Think Differently, if you've seen it on the side of a bus, if you know anything about that at all, it's an initiative that Mark Molinaro started here when he was county executive almost 10 years ago now. Really about getting people to think differently about people of all abilities. How do we make sure that we're welcoming people? How do we make sure that our places are accessible to them? How do we make sure that we're being, you know, helpful and kind and loving and caring, and we're inclusive with everyone? And so we were fortunate to get a grant from county government to help bring greater accessibility to our tourism attractions. So I did a lot of homework. And through all my channels, because no one's successful by themselves, it takes all of us, I found a brand new startup, actually, and called Wheel the World. That's WHEEL, The World. Really fantastic.
I know.
fantastic people. And, we were kind of on the ground level, and now it's just expanding all over the country, all over the world. And what they did for us is they came in and we had more than 50 hotels, restaurants, and attractions assessed for accessibility. So there's a tour mapper that comes with an app, and for hotels there's more than 200 points that they look at, and then for the others there's about 100. Everything from door widths to toilet heights to grab bars. Do you have assisted listening devices? Do you have braille menus? Do you have all the kind of things that you might want or need if you're somebody who needs some accommodations and some help? And so they have a website. And on that website, they show people exactly what to expect. It's all about managing expectations, because everybody's disability is different.
Yeah.
So you don't know what you're going to need. And so they just list, here's what this place has. And then you can look at it and say, is this right for me? Because when you go to hotels, a lot of times their websites will say, oh yeah, we have accessible hotel rooms.
Sure.
But that's right, because they might not be accessible in the way a person needs it to be accessible. Yes. And so looking at this list, people can see right away, is this a good place for me? Yeah. And they can book it directly through Wheel the World. There's no markup fees. Our hotels it doesn't cost them anything to participate. The grant paid for everything. So that was great.
Nice.
And so really they have a lot of photos on there so people can see, because there's a saying in our industry, if people don't know, they won't go. Yeah. And we want them to come to Dutchess County. And so by helping them give that information, they're much more likely to travel here. And it's kind of like, you can set up it's almost like a dating profile. You put in what your accessibility needs are, and you can get matched with places. So that's another tool that helps. And we have a whole landing page there that outlines stuff. There's some blogs. We're doing some marketing and videos with them we're working on. But not only do we have that accessible Wheel the World component of the program, but we give away almost $19,000 in micro grants to the partners. It was a competitive process. People who were a part of the program and had their assessments requested money up to $3,000 to make improvements that were identified in their assessment. So the assessment highlights in green everything you're doing that's great. They have some yellow in case there's things like, here's something you might think about doing, or this could be a little bit better here. And then if there's any red flags, here's what they are. And so what that does is that gives a partner the opportunity to make some changes right away and to plan for the future. Some things are expensive to fix, and you got to get some funding for that. But with these $3,000 micro grants, there were 8 partners who won the grants. They got to do everything from putting in accessible sink at Fishkill Farm and some pavers that make it a nice smooth surface. There are wheelchairs. There at other places, there's accessible picnic tables. There's assisted listening devices at another place. There's there's so many things. There's renovation of some bathrooms and some bedrooms and hotels and arts venues and theaters. So they took that money and they made those improvements.
Amazing.
And so really, we just we're not saying that we're perfect, because we're not, but we are celebrating milestones, that we are making progress, and we're making significant progress. And so our hope is that other people will do the same, that they will be encouraged to start wherever they are. You don't have to be perfect immediately. Start wherever you are. The most important thing is just to start.
Yes, totally. You got to start somewhere. And there's so many people, organizations who are just caught up in the what if, or the fear, or do we need this, or do we need to get all this all together at once? It's like, no, just chisel away a little bit. Make steps. Figure it out. Yes.
That's it.
Exactly.
That's it. And so, the micro grant program was a big deal, but the other important component of it is the training. So they also offer online training, because it's not just about the physical spaces, but how do we make sure that our customer service people have the right kind of training to be able to be helpful? Sometimes we think we're being helpful, but we're not. Don't pet a service dog. Don't take someone's wheelchair and push them. Don't grab somebody who has a vision impairment and guide them. You can offer your arm and say, would you like, my arm is at your left, would you like to take it? I would love to escort you to this place. So there are ways to approach people, and they will tell you yes or no, or do this or don't do that. They just want to be treated like any other customer and offered great hospitality. And sometimes for us, if you've never had interactions with people who have those disabilities, you might not know the best way to help them. And so through the training with us, also training that's available with Taconic Resources, we partner with them for Lunch and Learns. With our friends at the Anderson School, we help and work with them. We're doing great things. I'm so proud of our county and our tourism partners, and I look forward to this program just continuing to grow and inspiring others to grow their programs.
Amazing. And for those who are interested in learning more about Accessible Dutchess and Wheel the World, where are the best places for people to go and find that?
Yeah, if you go to DutchessTourism.com, on the homepage, you're going to scroll down to the ABC section. The first one, letter A, accessibility.
Beautiful.
And you're going to find all the things that you need to know there, including different blogs and spotlights on businesses doing it right, upcoming events and programs. It's super.
Amazing. Again, you're listening to In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's award-winning public affairs and issues program. We're speaking to Melaine Rottkamp, CEO and president of Dutchess Tourism, talking about the crazy week that she's about to have. But to be honest, when it comes to you and your job, though, I feel like every week's kind of crazy. You're running around all over Dutchess and the Hudson Valley, so
it's all good. And I have the best team. I really do. I have a staff of 9, including me. And every single one of them are just top-tier professionals, bar none. They're passionate about what they do. They're fun to work with. I love getting up and going to work every single day.
Amazing. And that's one of the best things to have, to be able to have a situation like that where you are passionate and you're empowered by the environment that you're in.
Right.
Absolutely amazing. So, Melaine, unfortunately, we only got a couple minutes left. And I know there's a million things we could always talk about. But with the couple minutes that we have, do you need to speed run anything of like things that people should know about? Yeah,
just a couple of things. Know that tourism in Dutchess County, if we didn't have visitors coming, the taxes they contribute, if you households had to make up for that level of spending, every household would have to pay almost $800. And that's just for the government services that you get. And almost $2 million a day is spent by visitors in our county. So not only would you have to pay that $800 for those government services that you enjoy, but you'd have to spend $2 million a day at all our attractions, restaurants, hotels, and everything to keep them going, because they're our favorite places and we need visitors to keep them up and running. So be kind to visitors, be patient with visitors, be helpful to visitors. If you want to become one of our certified Dutchess Tourism ambassadors, we would love you to join us. We have a free guest service gold customer service training program that's out there. If you want to elevate your skills, you climb that career path. Careers in tourism and hospitality are great. They're not just minimum wage, entry level. You can have an awesome career. Do that. And then find fun things for yourself to do and tell your friends about it. Go to DutchessTourism.com/fall, and you can get a great combination of all the best farms and hikes and places to eat and events going on. So many festivals in the fall. Check it all out.
Amazing. Terrific. And of course, all the links and information will be in the description of this episode, so you'll be able to find it all nice and easy. Definitely recommend checking out where to get the best places for apple picking or like apple cider donuts and stuff.
Yeah.
Those lists are so good. It makes it so easy, and then you could just like, all right, which one are we hitting next today? And just make like a whole event out of it for a day.
Use
and
those
try it
finder
out.
passes.
Yes.
You do the Sweet Tooth Trail.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
The Sweet Tooth Trail, so good. Done that. Been there, done that. I've been through that sugar coma already. It's amazing.
It's good stuff.
It's good stuff. You got to at least try it. Like, whether you got a diet or not, you got to at least try it at some point.
Bring friends and share.
Yeah. Even when you're sharing, that's still a lot, but you have fun with it. Melaine, thank you so much for being on this episode of In Touch, and we'll definitely have you back come the holidays.
Thanks.
For sure.
Looking forward to it.
This has been this week's edition of In Touch, the award-winning public affairs and issues program that runs across Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley radio stations. We want to give a big thank you to Melaine Rottkamp. For more information, please visit DutchessTourism.com. Of course, all links and information can be found in the description of this episode. I've been your host, Conor Walsh. Until next time, stay curious, keep an open mind, and as always, I'm glad we get to spend some time